Well, student nurses and student midwives are a little bit different from all our other students in as much as they are on placement, so they're working shifts. So the support they're given is if they need to be in a quiet area, because they can choose to live in any of our accommodation. We don't have specific accommodation for them, so they have a choice of where they live. Having made that choice, if they then find that there's a problem, as long as they communicate with us that there is a problem, we can then deal with it, and we can either move them or we can deal with the problem within the area that they're in. The other problems that sometimes students get when they come away to university is they haven't thought through the finances, because once they've paid for their accommodation, they then have to remember that they do have to pay for food, and they do have to pay expenses to get to wherever it is they're going to be on placement. So finances can become an issue. We have various sorts of accommodation. We have catered accommodation, which are 2 halls, whereby you are provided with your breakfast from Monday to Friday and your evening meal from Monday to Friday, and that is included in your rent. So your rent includes that, so you don't have to think about feeding yourself from Monday to Friday. Now, sometimes, because of shift patterns, that creates problems for the nursing students, because they're either going out or not back in at those times. But if they speak to the catering department, they'll either make them up a breakfast in a bag to go, or they'll reserve an evening meal for them, so there isn't any need to miss out on your food. We've got managed halls, so that's accommodation where we don't own the accommodation, but we manage it on behalf of the owners. They're non-catered, and some of those will have ensuite accommodation, and some of them will have shared facilities. We also have university-owned houses, so they're houses they're all within walking distance of the town centre, and they can be from between 4 to 26 people, depending on the size of the property. And some of those houses we have in the past put aside for nursing students, because then they're all together in that property and they share the same work patterns and things like that. It's the only group of students that we will try and put together because of their shift pattern of working. We do try to put them together because it then creates a quiet area. During their first week at the university, they have Freshers' Week, and during that week they join in on campus with other first year students. They do campus tours, they do pub tours, and they generally get to know other people within the halls on those kind of activities, and get to know the campus and their accommodation. If they have any issues, major issues, then as time goes by, then through our accommodation office we can point them in the direction of counselling, welfare and all those services. We have various halls, and some of them are en suite, and they're divided into flats. So you might have 600 students, but you all get your own bedroom and you all have an ensuite, and then you just share the kitchen, and they're in flats of, as I say, divided into flats of 6. You may have a hall which is an open hall, whereby you can come into the hall, and as long as you live there and your pass allows you in, you can go anywhere within that hall. So you're not divided into flats. It's an open situation. So if you have a friend on the 8th floor, that's no problem. You can just go up the lift and go to the 8th floor and see your friend. And all the facilities are shared in that situation. So toilets, bathrooms, showers, kitchenettes, they're all shared. I think if students can come to our open days, the open day gives them a very good flavour of what it's going to be like when they come to university, especially with accommodation, because they can actually go out and look round some of our accommodation. We don't open it all, but we open some of it, and then go and have a look round, and they're taken round by other students. So they get a student perspective on those areas, so that's quite nice for them. And I think they really need to look, and if they desperately want to come in halls, which is fine, they can, as I say, they can live wherever they want to live, they have to bear in mind that they're one of a lot of people in that hall. So they have to bear that in mind. Well, the social side of coming away to university and coming into accommodation, and the people that you meet, people that you would perhaps never meet culturally. You'd never have met those people in any other circumstances, and especially if you're going into nursing midwifery, to have that cultural feel for things as well, I should think would be very beneficial.